There are moments and there are seasons that one way or the other we think that we are being captured within the problems that we find ourselves. And it seems that the God that we worship has neglected us. He has forsaken us. And there is no God who is with us in the midst of that trouble.
For the word of God says that, hope deferred makes the heart sick. In the midst of my hopelessness, God is there. In the midst of my discouragement, God is there. In the midst of me feeling worthless, me feeling like, life, like what is life? Like my life doesn't matter. God is there because in Him, my life is found. In Him, there is life.
Today, I want to remind you that your God says that He will never leave you nor forsake you.
So the things that we call life, our material possessions, getting married, buying a car, what is life? To me personally, I feel like the definition of life is Jesus. We are born to be like Jesus Christ. We are born to be victorious. We are born to be powerful. When you are feeling hopeless, all you have to do is just get back up and just pick up that Bible and believe on purpose. Even if you can't get yourself to believe, but you do it on purpose and do it genuinely because God sees you. God sees the heart, and He says that I'm looking down from heaven to see if anyone is smart, if anyone is wise enough to search for me.
God is always right in the midst of trouble. He is always right there with you. The reason is that we don't identify and we don't recognize God in the midst of trouble.
So God is saying that, those who are wise, those who are smart, they're the ones who are always looking for God. They're the ones who are always in their Bible. Psalm 27 verse 1 says that, the Lord is our light. He is our salvation. You know what? The Lord is my light and He is my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the stronghold of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid or dread?
In the midst of atrocity, in the midst of dilapidations and all of that, we think that God is not in the equation. But today I want to remind you that your God is with you.
So even if we are afraid, even if we want to do something and we feel afraid, we feel nervous, people might talk about us, we feel like people might reject us, who cares? Because in the end of the day, we have something that we can always go to. We have something that we can always rely on. We have a light, we have a salvation.
He is in the boat. The reason is that you cannot recognize God in the midst of trouble. Whenever that you find yourself in trouble and it's like all hell is breaking loose, your mind is always on the problem that you're going through and you forget about God. But if you can focus and believe to the fact that your God is with you in the midst of trouble, in the midst of atrocity, He will never leave you nor forsake you. You are a victor. I want to hear somebody saying that God is with me. Your God will never leave you nor forsake you. He is with you and He will never let you down. Never let you down. Never let you go alone. Never let the enemy grip you. God is with you.
In the midst of my anxieties, in the midst of my depression, which seems, forever, in the end of the day, I have something that stands forever, that lasts forever. That is my light. That is my salvation. Something. Even if my mom and my dad abandons me, my best friend may abandon. Why do I worry myself so much if I have a God who is always there? If I have a God who is my light? If I have a God who is my salvation?
It's like we are walking through problems each and every day, and we think that God is still not in the business. We've forgotten about what God can do. He told Abraham that Abraham, leave your father's house, kindred, to the land that I, God, will show you.
Whom shall I fear? Whom shall I dread? Why am I afraid that this sickness will last forever? Why am I afraid that this anxieties never go? I should be rejoicing right now because I have a light, I have a salvation, and He's bigger than my anxieties. He's bigger than my depression. He's bigger than those who abandon me. He's bigger than the world itself because God created heaven and earth. He created everything that is on this earth, and without Him, nothing is created. I just want to, encourage you that, whatever you're going through, just know that it is not going to last forever, All of these things will fade. Just have a new perspective and tell yourself that, it is all part of life. It is part of life, It's not going to last forever. For me, I like to think about Jesus when He was beaten, when He had to struggle, So if I'm going through this, this is nothing compared to what Jesus went through. He went through a lot, It keeps me going. Me thinking about Jesus, me thinking about what He went through, the struggle, the pain, me going through this, I think about Him, I really do, and it just keeps me going, So let's just rise up again. Even if we feel hopeless, there is something to always be thankful for. If you can't find anything to be thankful for, just be thankful for the light and salvation that you have, and that light and that salvation is God. And without God, nothing is gonna work out. That job that you want, without God, it's not gonna work out. That education that you're spending, without God, nothing is gonna work out. That friend that you want, or that friend that you don't want, without God, nothing is gonna work out. You waking up this morning, without God, it's not gonna work out, because in Him there is life, and indeed there is life.
God is always with you, and you got to recognize and believe to the fact that He is with you. God bless you, somebody.